This ball is impossible to hit. Tech?
This is me pitching a ball that's impossible to hit. And I engineered it out of necessity because I'm facing off against the world's greatest wiffle ball players. Now, wiffle ball is the popular backyard version of baseball here in America. What makes it really interesting is the balls have these holes on the side, which means they can curve like crazy. But how does that work? And how do baseballs, or really balls from any sport, actually curve through the air for that matter?
I thought this was like balls. I thought these balls were only for like T-ball, or not even T-ball. I thought this shit was like for you know, the kids package. I used to have these in kids package. Like you get like a plastic bat with 3 colored balls.
They can curve.
I thought it was just for the kids. The wiffle ball.
How does that work? And how do baseballs, or really balls from any sport, actually curve through the air for that matter? So today we're gonna test our way to find an answer to that question. And since I grew up playing countless hours of wiffle ball myself, I'm gonna revive a lifelong dream of going head to head against the pros. And I don't want to give too much away, but I might have had to rely on my engineering skills to level the playing field.
Roomba.
Now, the whole idea for this journey of discovery started with an impromptu visit to my childhood home in Brea, California. Last time I lived here was over 2 decades ago, so I'm just gonna go ambush him. I want a tour.
Yeah, you know, ah man, this is just probably your normal ass cul-de-sac. Like, you know, like, I think that's what they call them. But I don't know why, but this reminded me of the Fred movie. This looked like where Fred lived.
Decades ago, so I'm just gonna go ambush him. I want a tour.
I don't know why I thought of that.
What's up? I'm Mark.
I don't know why that's on my mind.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Such a random thought.
I used to live here.
Kinda.
Oh, word got out. So after meeting the whole family, they were kind enough to let me take a walk down memory lane. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's cool.
If these walls could talk, you know? I used to keep my micro machines right in this little cabinet here. Up there on the roof is where me and Scott Glacier used to throw water balloons on my sister and her friends sunbathing down here. That's an option for you kids. I also took the chance to confess that all the holes in their metal shed were errant shots from a homemade crossbow I fashioned in 8th grade. There was a target. I wasn't very good at it, apparently. But what made me most happy to hear is how all the neighborhood kids still played out front all the time. Because while that may look like just a street to some, for us, it was a soccer, hockey, basketball, and baseball stadium where
Oh, that's cool. These days, people be doing that in my street. When I was a kid, I had to bike like a block or 2 or 3. Like a couple, I don't even remember how many it was, man. I was so in the moment. It was just so, it was fun. But there was never anything going on my block. But now these days, my block is hot. This block going crazy.
Unforgotten neighborhood legends were born, where each game always felt so big and the only thing that could stop us was when the streetlights came on, signaling it was time to go home for dinner. And to my absolute delight, they let me hop in the game. I'm gonna go ahead and call it right out of the gate. And look, I'm not gonna say it myself, but were there some murmurs that Mark, the long ball legend rover, had returned?
Long ball.
I'm not gonna deny it.
The
Just like
legend.
old times, this is great. Even at the mound, I was still slinging lasers. Still got it. And as invigorating as this was, it did make me question if I missed out on my true calling as a professional wiffle ball player. Because you should know, there are actually professional wiffle ball players. And while we share a very similar origin story, our histories split paths when they kept the dream alive and turned those adolescent visions of grandeur into the world's first pro wiffle ball league. In fact, this is Kyle as an 11-year-old, and now 14 years later as the league founder and commissioner. He told me every year starting in spring, 8 teams compete in a 4-month season, with players traveling from all over the country. There's a draft, playoff, a World Series, and of course for 14 years they've tracked every possible stat that is possibly trackable. As you'd expect, there's heated team rivalries and league legends like Jimmy Norp, aka the Norpedo, who's considered by many to be the best pitching, hitting dual threat in the league, and as the reigning back-to-back World Series champ, it's easy to see why. None of them get paid to play, so their truest compensation is the sheer thrill of victory in this game that has united them since childhood. He also told me they'd be playing in
Wait, is there a crowd though? Is there people like behind? Oh, there's somebody there.
truest compensation is the sheer thrill of victory in this
Oh, it looks like they may have a website. Maybe they stream it. Interesting.
sheer thrill of victory in this game that has united them since childhood.
Oh, they got YouTube.
Compensation is the sheer thrill of victory in this game that has united
YouTube.
them since childhood.
Cool. That's cool.
He also told me they'd be playing in Oklahoma right around the time I'd be traveling through. I was finally gonna get my chance to play under the lights in front of an actual crowd, which meant it was time for the long ball legend to refer to himself in the third person and make his professional debut.
Bro, man, there's something cool about like just stadiums. I don't know. Recently, I went on a walk around my town, and they had every stadium open for some reason. I don't know if we were allowed to go inside, but nobody was around. So, you know, I took a tour, and just like being on fields was such a cool feeling. I put my earbuds on, and I put the Moneyball theme with the like guitar and whatever. I just like started walking around. I was just thinking like how people like this. I was straight up just thinking about people like this. It was such a moment. I was like this. I was thinking about guys who like started when they were young, because the fields I was at had the small fields, then it had the like the mid field, then the big field, and then the major field. Like it was crazy. I was just like walking down all the lanes. I was just thinking and seeing like scenarios and kids, you know, shape like, you know, like I was just making shit up in my brain. It was like a movie, but like with ghosts. It's like Fields of Dreams. It was like Fields of Dreams, this shit. Holy shit, it was like Fields of Dreams. Like that shit was crazy. It was like yeah, I don't know, it was a fun time. And then I went to the football field and it was like the same thing. It was just a cool feeling. It was nice.
And I was playing it cool, but right out of the gate, I spotted the
My point was like I can only imagine what it's like for these guys, like getting on a field. It's cool to see people like this, you know, still, you know, just having fun with the things that they did as a kid, and then turning it into some like crazy shit of its own. Like this man made a YouTube, a whole like league thing. Like that's cool.
the unmistakable
cool.
flowing hair. Who's the best?
Back-to-back champs.
I was thinking about this
Of
shit.
Jimmy, Captain Clutch North. This was definitely the big leagues.
So how many per team? We like to do 3v3.
So we divided up into teams, and it was game on.
All right, here you go, Jimmy.
Kyle connected early to get one man on, so it was over to the Red Baron to make it two.
Oh yeah, Baron.
Nice. And that made it my turn. But I wasn't here to waste time just getting on bases.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Calling the shot. Over the green monster.
With the street lights of my youth finally being replaced with the stadium lights I'd always dreamed of, this was my moment.
Straight stunned.
What? That feels
Stunned.
impossible to hit.
Now, just like in baseball, in wiffle ball you get 4 balls and 3 strikes. And it's a strike if it hits anywhere on the rectangular pipes, or more embarrassingly, the metal plate in the middle.
I'm sorry, team.
And with the crowd visibly unimpressed, I swapped with Kyle to pinch run at second base.
And she looks like she wondered why she even left the house. Like she is not impressed.
With the crowd visibly unimpressed, I swapped
even-
with Kyle to
not
pinch
even
run at
slightly.
second base.
No, 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 no. Everywhere I go, I'm getting out.
So we had 2 outs, but now that I'd cleared the cobwebs out, I could just sense things were about to change.
Oh. Yikes.
Well, I think we all know I was always more of a pitcher anyways.
Wait, is that the
It was time
special?
to give these boys a little taste of old school suburban California street ball.
Where's the
Because Jimmy
special?
Norp's reign on Mount Olympus had come to an end.
Bro, he's
You take a
he
base on
ball.
that?
He ball. No shot. Wait, I thought he had like a secret ball. What?
And with that absolute dinger to center field, Captain Clutch had struck again.
Or not yet. Not yet? Oh shit, 4-0. Damn.
That's witchcraft!
And look, I'm not proud of my performance, but in my defense, unlike the West Coast ball I grew up playing, in the pros, as you can see here, these pitches are moving 10 feet left to right. It's like,
Damn, that's pretty impressive. That shit's soaring. And this, like, the curve on it. It's a lot easier, I would feel like, to get a curve on a wiffle ball versus like a regular baseball, just because of like the aerodynamics and shit. But that's still impressive as fuck, man. He straight whipped that fucking thing.
like the ball had propellers, and it makes it nearly impossible to figure out if it's a pitch you should swing at, or a pitch you should duck from, or perhaps both.
Ben's whole body just had like a heart attack, like holy shit. Oh man.
How did he do that?
And the rest of the game, unfortunately, was just more of the same. Although I am proud to say, in the third inning, I finally got on base.
Oh, he bonked him.
And so despite all my best efforts, they narrowly edged us out for the win. This was not how it was supposed to happen. It was going to be a long plane ride home, but truthfully, a plan was already forming in my head to science the crud out of this and use my engineering abilities to level the playing field. And step one was to fly Jimmy and Kyle out to Crunch Labs to study exactly how they can curve a ball as much as they do. And after making a bunch of observations and gathering a bunch of data myself, I marched them straight over to the home of the San Francisco Giants, because they're regarded as the team with
70. That just reminded me of Little Pump, the kid. Oh shit. Oh fuck. What was I saying? Oh shit, bro, that's crazy. That's like 20 miles per hour less than like max speed I think I've seen at a baseball. I think max speed at a baseball game I've seen is like 92, I think. Unless I'm tripping. I know they hit 70. But like, yeah, that is insane.
Them straight over to the home of the San Francisco Giants, because they're regarded as the team with the most advanced pitcher development program in all of Major League Baseball.
Wow, this feels pretty big.
And right out of the gate, I was incredible.
Yeah, that'd be. I've done this before. I like walk around like a major league stadium, like the Texas Rangers, their old ass stadium, the original, the OG. I walked around that. And the new one I've kind of not really walked around in. I've been to a game. But the old one I went like on a field trip. I would love to like go on a field trip or just solo adventure through a park. Oh man, that's so cool.
Incredibly relieved to see their elite players and coaches.
Actually, I appreciate the architecture and I like going through the history. Cause like places like this, they usually put up history and shit. And that's cool to see.
Struggling against the Norpedo just as much as I did.
I don't even like baseball, but I like stadiums and shit. I like history.
But then it was into the clubhouse for the real purpose of the trip. To meet with Brian Bannister, whose deep understanding of the science behind the spinning baseball is sort of their secret sauce for developing all these great pitchers. And he's got the hardware to show for it.
When you use these concepts, you win World Series.
And so after that, I was feeling pretty good about my handle on how exactly they were making the ball curve. But as final confirmation on my suspicions, we also met up with the Stanford baseball team to run one last test with a normal baseball versus an identical one that was just missing the seam. And as a further point of indication, I'm happy to report their nationally ranked batters also fell victim to Kyle and the Norpedo.
Bro, just straight let it go, no?
To Kyle and the Norpedo.
What the fuck was that? No shot.
And so after my extensive data collection, research, and interviews, here's the answer as to how any sort of ball curves through the air. And it starts with a riddle. Let's say you're an astronaut on the space station and you go out for a spacewalk to fix a solar panel with your big wrench, and as you're heading out you get distracted by the view and miss grabbing the handle, and now you're very slowly drifting away. What do you do to save yourself? And you might say, well, you just sort of swim your way back. But in zero gravity, as demonstrated here,
No, 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 no. There's I've seen this. I know actually. I actually know this. If you have like a, I think if you have like a pressure shooter, you can like obviously pressure shoot back. I don't know. I've seen it. I don't remember though.
Here by an actual astronaut, you can flail your arms all you want, but your center of mass won't actually move.
Right.
All right, so did you think of the answer? The trick
Is hole in the no? What the?
is you throw the wrench as fast.
Oh, I fucking, oh man, I knew it, man. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was something with the backwards. I just didn't remember what it was, man.
As possible in the opposite direction, and that will give you just a little push to slowly move you back to the space station. And this makes intuitive sense, right? Like if you're on a skateboard and you throw something heavy to the right, you're gonna move back to the left.
Nate! You had one job!
Well, this is exactly how rockets move around in space where there's no air. They create a chemical reaction from their fuel to make a lot of tiny wrenches, and they just throw them out of the back really fast, and the rocket naturally has to go the other way, just like you as an astronaut. So that's one thing you need to know, and the other is the Coanda effect, which states that fluids like to curve and flow around a smooth surface. You actually already know this if you've ever noticed how water will flow around a curved spoon. Well, air is also a fluid, and so it curves just like water. As
Now you turn that the other way, that hoodie is straight ruined.
you can see here, because the strings are following with the airflow as it turns the round corner on the Frisbee. Okay, so now let's put those two concepts together. From the ball's perspective, air is rushing past on the top side here and curving around really nicely because the rotation of the ball matches great with the airflow. But on the bottom side, they're opposite. So there's sort of a head-on collision with the air rushing by, creating turbulence. That means more air goes around the top, which means more little air wrenches are thrown diagonally down. As a result, the backspun ball moves diagonally up, just like the astronaut, causing it to curve up. The fancy term for this is the Magnus effect, and big light balls like beach balls are great for demonstrating this effect because they have lots of surface area, so they throw off lots of wrenches, but they're also really light, so the air wrenches have more of an effect. And now that you know this, you know exactly what causes the curve on tennis balls, soccer balls, ping pong balls, record-breaking basketballs, golf balls, and baseballs. With the baseball, the seams help grab even more air wrenches as the ball spins, but they also provide the pitchers a better grip so they can spin the ball even faster. Our normal versus smooth ball test confirmed this when the normal baseball with seams was curving so much more. By the way, this same principle is how frisbees seem to defy gravity, because air curves over the smooth edge, throwing wrenches down all around, turning it into a freaking jetpack. Now, having said that, you should know that the wiffle ball is very similar, yet slightly different than all of those. As long as you scuff up the side with the holes, which is something all serious players will do, then by comparison, this side is now much smoother. That means the air has a much easier time curving around like water on a smooth spoon, throwing down the air wrenches, causing the ball to lift towards the smooth side. And sure enough, when we check the high-speed footage, we see that in every case, the ball is curving towards the smooth side and away from the holes. So now whenever you see a ball curving, just think of tiny little astronaut wrenches flying off the back of the ball as it spins through the air. And now that I knew their secrets to ball curvature, it was time to use that knowledge to engineer some sweet revenge with an 18-second build montage.
Holy. 3D printer. Googly. Drone?
So I was back to Oklahoma with the duffel bag full of
a fucking drone?
Addressed specifically for Jimmy North. But before we get to that, you might have noticed Crunch Labs has a new addition. My backyard. That's because to fight summer brain drain and make this your least boring summer ever, we created Camp Crunch Labs. Now, Camp Crunch Labs is a 12-week virtual summer camp featuring weekly videos with mega experiments that I do, and then weekly super challenges that you do. And the best weekly challenge submission of the whole summer, it's a platinum ticket to come out here with me for the biggest mega experiment of them all, the final video of the summer. On top of that, usually the Crunch Labs build boxes where we build a really fun toy together, where I teach you all the juicy physics of how they work, comes every month. But to coincide with the Camp Crunch Labs weekly challenges and videos, we can ship them to you every week.
Yes! Look!
So if you want a 12-week summer camp where you can learn to think like an engineer with 0% chance of bug bites and poison ivy, Head to campcrunchlabs.com to reserve one of the limited spots, and I'll see you at summer camp.
Oh, look who it is.
That's cool.
Got you a little something. Number one.
I took the opportunity of
Number
admiring
one.
my new gift
He's
to
first.
avoid making eye contact with
Holy.
the torpedo and his tactics of intimidation.
Got a bag of stuff here. Should be a little bit better than last time. Play ball.
The rematch was officially on,
All right, I'm at the mound.
Bum,
Let's
bum,
go.
and word must
Bum.
have spread
Bum, bum,
because
bum.
an even larger crowd had gathered to watch. Playing with the pros had been my
what?
childhood dream, yet my last outing
Bro, I thought this was the song. I thought this was the indie song. It should come in. Bum, 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 bum. I thought it was gonna. Dun, 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 dun. I thought it was gonna switch up on me.
torpedo and his tactics of intimidation.
Got a bag of stuff here. Should be a little bit better than last time. Play ball.
It sounded like it.
The
Nope.
rematch was officially on,
All right,
Bum.
I'm at the mound.
Bum, bum,
Let's
bum.
go.
and word must have spread because an even larger crowd had gathered to watch. Playing with the pros had been my childhood dream, yet my last outing was closer to a nightmare. So I decided to give them a small taste of what they could expect for round 2, and wound up to deliver the hot, steamy appetizer. Dinner is
Oh
served.
shit.
Now all I had to do was retrieve and reload the brass
I get it. He throws it and then he off puts it by putting a. That's his wrench, no?
slug. Because if you preload a brass cylinder against a spring in a 3D printed ball like this, and then take apart a $1 kitchen timer and harvest the geared mechanism, then when you wind up the wiffle ball hemispheres, you get a 1.5 second delay until this screw rotates and releases the spring-loaded plug, just
Oh, shit.
like an astronaut wrench.
No
And that alters the
shit.
trajectory in midair, making it impossible to predict where to swing. And as you can
Wait, that's crazy. He put a cooking timer into the half of the wiffle ball and then left the other half hollow and you push the button. Bro,
see, unpredictability is a pitcher's best friend.
see, like, what are you doing? Unpredictability for sure. You have literally 0.25 seconds to catch that bitch. He does not have much time.
Midair, making it impossible to predict where to swing. And as you can see, unpredictability is a pitcher's best friend. Unfortunately, after just 2 strikes, they found my Achilles heel and rendered the ball useless. Which is exactly why you always have a backup plan. Ooh, just missed the strikeout.
It broke.
This one used the same kitchen timer geared mechanism, only this time the 2 wiffle ball hemispheres were preloaded against each other with the spring. So after the 1.5 second delay, your hitting options went from 1 good one to 2 bad ones, which was just enough to secure my very first
Okay, like, what the fuck?
Unfortunately-
Even if you hit one, does that count? Even if you hit it, like, you're probably just getting a base. Like, man, that shit rough.
The crafty torpedo deduced correctly
They ain't letting that in the league. They ain't.
that by simply stepping forward, they could make contact before the ball had time to split.
And that's why he's him. Brother, he's him. Holy shit. He knew.
Which meant it was time for the backup plan. The Wiffle Copter. And you might think now I'm just being a bit cheeky, but I did a thorough reading of the rules, and it's a strike if it hits anywhere on the pipe or metal plate above the 2 legs. But it makes no mention of front or back.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wait.
Exploiting loopholes.
No.
Unfortunately, my smugness was short-lived, because you don't become a professional wiffle ball player without a tremendous amount of hand-eye coordination. So with 2 runners on, it was time to level things up with this 3
Wait, who's moving it though? He's not. No. It doesn't know. It's not like there's no way it has like tracking for metal or some shit. No shot.
The printed triple 10,000 RPM flywheeled monstrosity of a personal pitching machine, aka the Demogorgon.
The Google.
The Demogorgon is calibrated to launch his cruise missiles at just under the
Oh,
74
shit.
mile per hour speed limit on pitches in the league. The only problem is that kind of speed requires a lot of flowing electrons, and battery power soon became a concern. And that's just not a position you want to find yourself in with Captain Clutch at the plate, sadly giving them the first lead of the game. And I was concerned things would start to get away from me, but thankfully,
Easy.
Jimmy can't take every at-bat. And after a pop-up and a routine catch by the Red Baron, I'd survived the first inning with only 1 allowed run to show for it. For the first
Not
time,
bad.
I was feeling good about our chances,
Not bad.
which meant it was time to show the world I was more than just a pitcher.
Well, wait, we forgot to make a bat. Oh man, we spent so long on the ball, we forgot to make a bat.
How is that possible?
So it was another strikeout, but then Barron got on
Shit.
base, followed by Kyle with an absolute bomb to center
Oh
field.
shit!
Straight over the green monster, which meant suddenly we were up 1-2. For the first time ever, we were in the lead, and at this rate,
Oh no! That's not the way you do it. There's no shot that's the way you do it. Look at this guy. No shot! Brother, no! Wait, let me see somebody else's foot. What is this guy doing right now? That does not look right. What the fuck is that? That looks terrifying. Where's somebody's foot?
the strikeout.
I mean, look at him. What the fuck? Jesus, that was scary. 3 times, not even once. He did it 3 times, this guy.
Start to get away from me, but thankfully,
Like, I know he's not a baseball player, but shit, man. You're walking on thin ice. Holy shit. Hey, spoilers, man. Like, fuck off. No shot.
How is that possible?
So it was another strikeout, but then Barron got on base, followed by Kyle with an absolute bomb to center field. Straight over the green monster, which meant suddenly we were up 1-2. For the first time ever, we were in the lead, and at this rate, yeah, I struck out again. But we were still winning. And with the final play of the inning, Barron capitalized on a bad throw to second for a potential inside the park home run. But there's a Major League Wiffle Ball rule where the strike zone doubles as the catcher. So if you don't beat the throw home,
Oh,
then you're out.
what?
And heading into the second inning, I was fresh out of batteries, so we
Oh.
had Kyle take them out. And after 2 strikes, they got on base. Or at least they would have if first base didn't go rogue. And now that first base had a taste for freedom, going free range with a top
The
speed of
Roomba
50 miles per hour,
is back.
I decided to bring him back after seeing the Norpedo was up next. Because there was plenty more where that came from. But my dreams were crushed when he just norped it out of the park.
Jeez,
Oh, come on!
this guy's a problem.
Boo!
And now the game was
This
tied.
guy's a
and Jimmy had
problem.
clearly demonstrated he's a sore winner. On the next play, they hit one deep and were threatening to score again, but I had a short-circuited first base that needed some avenging.
Fucking cannon. A potato launcher, this shit. Like, what the fuck? He sniped it. Holy shit.
And with them ahead 3-2 headed into the bottom of the second, this was the perfect time for my lucky
Oh,
bat.
he made a bet. Of course he made
And
a
just as
bet.
I'd hoped, the
Of
increased
course he
surface
did.
area put me on first base. And with the little
I was even wondering. I was like, oh man. I was like, there's no way he could make a bat that can like target launch or some shit. But I was thinking he could make a bat that like expends the whole area, and that's exactly what he did. This motherfucker turned his bat into a fan.
surface area put me on
What
first
the
base.
fuck?
And with a little teamwork, I scored a run,
man.
and we would have kept it going if someone wouldn't have struck out. Barron. Yeah, okay, fine, me too. So we were headed into the final inning, tied at 3, and we kept Kyle on the mound even though he said his arm wasn't at full strength. And of course, Captain Clutch took full advantage on the first pitch. So I volunteered to take over pitching duties. The problem was I had run out of gimmick wiffle balls and gimmick personal pitching machines. But thanks to the power of pneumatics, I hadn't run out of gimmick strike zones, which gave my floater a bit more room to work with.
What the fuck?
So after getting one out with the generous strike zone, some good old-fashioned hustle got us the second.
He extended the
But with Jimmy
zone.
at bat and knowing what was at stake, one of their players disconnected the airline, which honestly felt a little like cheating, but I took the high road and let it slide. This time I was
That's
really
cheating.
out of tricks. It was just me
That's
versus Captain
cheating.
Clutch Norp himself.
Right. He's got a
Mono,
point.
mono.
How dare he?
And on my first pitch,
This is weird.
I
Ooh, he
him
got
with a
him.
delayed riser.
Wait, 2
My
more.
second pitch got him with my modified slider.
Ooh.
If I was
Wait.
really gonna do this, I would need to rely on everything I had learned on this journey of discovery.
Wait, the tech, he's got it.
And that was strike 3.
Bro,
I
not only did he get him, but he got him. He got 7, no shot.
strike 3. I had struck out the world's greatest wiffle ball player. And earning that subtle nod of mutual respect from the Torpedo sort of felt like a
Damn.
Michael passing the torch to Kobe type of moment. And down by 1, headed into our final at bat, it lasted about as long as it
Right.
took to immediately strike me out again.
Oh,
That wasn't cool.
Now, the
You
game
know,
wasn't
Kobe
over yet,
tripped.
but instead of the 2 runs we needed to win, we quickly got 2 outs.
even Kobe trips sometimes.
But Barron kept our hopes alive with the base hit. And by some absolute miracle, I finally got a real hit, fair and square. Oh yeah, go Mark! Which
Run.
put me and Barron on 2nd and 3rd. Let's go! So it all came down to Kyle.
Wait, the guy with the bad arm.
And as soon as I saw contact, I knew it wasn't enough
that
to
shit's
clear the
gone.
wall. So
Oh,
I
no.
started my mad dash with my sights set on home plate. It was a risky move, but I knew it would mean victory for our team. With
Book
Jimmy
it.
taking the cutoff at 2nd,
Book it.
the gauntlet was thrown. His arm versus my legs. No more tricks. Okay, well maybe just one.
Okay, dude.
With the blast of air at 100 psi, their catcher was nowhere to be found,
No,
clearing
you-
my triumphant return
Just
to
got
that
rid of
most
it.
beautiful of white
No
rubber
shot. Oh, it's funny when they stopped cheating, he won. Like, once they didn't fuck with the air pressure, he got it. Like, bro, they just...
Just one more trick.
No sportsmanship these days.
With the blast of air at 100 psi, their catcher was nowhere to be found, clearing my triumphant
busted.
return to that most beautiful of white rubber pentagons.
Holy.
As we celebrated the game, it almost felt like at any moment the streetlights would come on, signaling it would be time to head home for dinner.
Time for
And I
pizza.
was reminded of a truth it feels like Jimmy and Kyle and all of their buddies have never lost sight of. Finding something you're truly passionate about that brings you joy is one
Hey!
of life's most lovely gifts.
Bro, he's copying me. That's what I said earlier. Just not that way. I said it a little different, but that's what I said.
Mark, what'd you learn today?
And if you're lucky enough to have found it,
He
you
copied
should
me.
protect and cherish it like your most prized.
That's just kind of weird. That's just kind of weird, honestly. But,
Have you ever seen a
but, you know, the video was good, so, you know, I'll allow it.
firewood chopping robot? Well, now you have. And while he can chop more than just firewood, his Jenga skills are severely lacking. Welcome to your least boring summer ever, aka Camp Crunch Labs. What the heck is Camp Crunch Labs, you ask? Well, it's a
Well, that's the thing from earlier, no? Oh, wait, that's the end of the video. Oh, well, that's cool. The Crunch Labs looks cool. Now, if I was a kid, I'd be interested in that. It reminds me of, like, the Nintendo team. Honestly, even not as a kid, I'm still interested. Like, I honestly just need shit to do. You know, and that looks like it'd be pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, that was a cool video.